Hello, I'm delighted to be joined today on our Alumni Spotlight series by Scott Weir. Scott is an MBA graduate, a mentor, a multiple award-winning entrepreneur, founder and CEO of Pillow Partners. Thanks for joining me, Scott.
Thank you. Thank you for the warm introduction there. It's a good start. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I thought I might start actually by asking you about your company, Pillow Partners. What is it the business does and how did you come up with the idea?
Yeah, so we manage holiday homes and serviced apartments. So Pillow Partners, people often wonder and ask, what is it you do? I'm surprised to hear we manage holiday homes. We're based in the west coast of Scotland, and yeah, we started in 2016, so managing properties in Ayrshire, then Glasgow, all over the UK, and we just look after people's holiday homes. So if you've got a holiday home or a serviced apartment in a city, give us the keys and the team will do absolutely everything. So exciting times as we record this show, and the team are over in Miami, so launching over to Miami as well. So really good time for us international, launching our own tech platform as well. People think of holiday homes, they think of Airbnb, and they sometimes see it as negative, but what we're trying to do is totally change that. Our new tech platform allows guests to book, but it helps local communities. So every single guest gets a chance to donate to local charities that are close to our owners, to us. Really make a difference with every stay, and we help promote small independent businesses. So when people stay with us, they'll book the property, they'll hopefully donate to a good cause or a local charity, and then we only promote the small independent family type businesses. So that Italian that's been in the community for 5 generations, not the big multinational companies, so that every single guest that comes to stay with us gets an authentic experience of where they're staying, but also helps the most vulnerable people in the community and helps small businesses and make sure that money stays locally.
And was that what you're thinking at the very start when you launched the business about this donations part of it and giving back?
Yeah, so my history has always been in property management. My first business was a high street letting agency, an estate agency. So we had 2 branches, Ayr and Kilmarnock in Ayrshire. And that was the traditional business model. High street letting agents, every town and city has rows of them. But we wanted to change it. So when Pillow got launched in 2016, it allowed us to make sure the properties did good for communities. So it's always been a dream for the start. We've done it very informally. We've got owners do pillow pledges to say we'll give 7 days a year that we can give to charity. So we've done amazing things throughout Scotland for good causes, local charities, helped individuals, and that's facilitated by the guests and the property owners. But it's a unique opportunity for us to do it, and now we're moving into being a tech company, which means we can just systemize it and really scale up our social impact.
Well, yeah, it sounds exciting times, right enough. And can I take you back to when you were just starting out, and because your route into education wasn't what probably most people would consider a kind of traditional route. So when you were younger, growing up in Ayrshire, what was your kind of ambitions when you were that age?
So I suppose my ambitions was just to go to school and not get shouted at by teachers. There certainly wasn't any formal educational things I had in mind. We didn't realise it back then, but I had dyslexia, so I didn't do anything at school, left school at 16 with 0 qualifications. And I suppose my family's ethos from old mining villages that got shut down was, Scott, people like us just don't go to university. And I remember my mum saying that's just, even getting a job for our family it's not worth getting a job, because you need to pay for your own house, and you earn your wages. By the time you get your buses to your job, you'd be better off in benefits, son. So in our family and community, education and higher further education was not a thing. Even being off benefits was certainly frowned upon in our family, as it's not worthwhile. You'll lose money to stay on benefits.
Wow. And so you ended up you joined the armed forces, or?
I did. So leaving school with no qualifications and just really been poor at everything. I always had some fire, some ambition to do something, and I didn't know what it was. Growing up in Ayrshire, just round the corner actually from at that stage the Ayr campus, we there wasn't a lot of opportunities. So the Armed Forces was one. I thought, well, let's go for the Navy. The Royal Navy sounds amazing. You travel the world, you get to see it, make a man of you, all those old cliches. But it was fantastic. And thankfully, I was accepted at 16 to go to the Navy. Spent 5 years, did get to travel the world, definitely made a man of me. And I got the opportunity my first opportunity where people would believe in me, because even school teachers would say, Mrs. Weir, your son will never account to anything, he'll never do anything. And remember, my first memories of primary school was the teacher swiping all my stuff off the desk and writing a big B and a big D on the desk in chalk because I got them mixed up. And of course, that shouldn't happen now, but then totally embarrassed in front of the school, jotters on the floor. And that was because I had dyslexia. So going to the Navy, they actually saw, so it was more practical, it was more vocational. We were doing mechanical engineering, and they said, well, we think you can get selected. So we get special selection to go to college and then university to study electronic engineering. And I realised that wasn't what I wanted to do, and it was a great opportunity, but it was the first insight that actually perhaps I could go on and do education. So it got me into the mood of doing it. I put my notice in for the Navy and left at 21 after 5 years, and decided, well, I do want to get education now, and I'm going to go and do it myself. And I remember when I was younger, 16, all the teachers who had ever said, Scott, you'll never do anything with your life and you're the worst student in the whole year. I remember setting myself a goal and saying, I'm going to be better educated than all those teachers. And I checked, and they had degrees and postgrads, and I said, what's better than that? And it was a master's degree. And I saw a film on the TV, and all these executives in America in a boardroom, and the suits looking out onto the city, and they all had MBAs, and I didn't know what an MBA was. It was before the days of Google, but I remember at 15 and a half saying, I'm going to get myself an MBA before I'm 30. So I left and decided I'm going to go and get an MBA, but then realised actually university, you can't do a degree without any qualifications. So that led me into my first HNC, which was at Ayrshire College.
And was it daunting going back to that kind of environment again after so many years and having such a negative experience when you were younger?
Yeah, people always have that. Many watchers and viewers may have heard of the Imposter Syndrome. So for the HNC and then the HND, it was in hospitality management, because I knew I wanted to do something with property and hotels and hospitality, hadn't quite got it figured out. But then I was thinking, well, there's people here that are actually chefs and they're working in these places, and I was at sea on a ship. So there was that. It was daunting. I suppose that the next stage, which led me on to the degree, I definitely, because that was a degree in management, a BA in management, and I was sitting there at the time, just set up a carpet cleaning business before the property businesses, and I'd go in my overalls, and having done like 8 hours of carpet cleaning, because it was in the evenings, I was doing all my education while working full time. And I definitely found it daunting, because I was in a management degree with people who were coming from the airport, from British Aerospace, and they were in suits, and they were literally, and they were the head of the HR department and then studying HR. And I was a carpet cleaner. I was a cleaner at that point in time, because I left the Navy and had no transferable skills. I literally was cleaning 7 days a week. I'd finish college at 4 and then go and clean for the NHS at 4:30 to 7 at night, and then did 7 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon, Saturdays and Sundays, in nursing homes cleaning, because it's all I could do before I got an education. So I'd be a cleaner, and I'd be sitting with all these management people and HR leaders and marketing managers for the degree. So yes, it was definitely daunting, and I felt out of place for sure.
But you obviously stuck at it, and you found that you found a way to get beyond some of those kind of doubts that you had, and the imposter syndrome, and the kind of environment you were in, because you went on and did your degree at Stirling, and after that, your target was kind of there in front of you in terms of the MBA which you had set yourself. So why UWS? What attracted you to the programme at UWS at the time, and what was that experience like at UWS?
Yeah, so there was a few factors. One, I looked at different MBA programs. That specific one was an executive MBA, so I liked the format. I liked the topics that were covered. It was 2 minutes drive from where I was living at the moment. So the management centre, which was a fantastic centre, so it factored into my decision that it was literally near. So the first degree was at Heriot Watt, and that was Edinburgh. So for me, that was the beauty of it. Was the campus was right next to where I lived. So because it was an executive MBA and I was working full time building the business, the structure of it as well as the content was perfect because there was lots of work you could do online and remotely. And I think you guys were really leading the way in that. And it was via Blackboard. So the online remote learning, other places you had to be there bum on seat, and if you didn't have that attendance you wouldn't pass, but a lot of it was online. So I think UWS were literally leading the way in that at the time. So it just suited me that I could build my business and have my dream of finishing that executive MBA.
Yeah, and I think that's that. A lot of people, and you're right, the flexibility of the program allows people to kind of develop their ideas and develop their business experience. And then obviously you mentioned you were doing that while you were studying as well, which is a real difficult thing to achieve. But you did go on and win awards such as Entrepreneur of the Year from the Ayrshire Chamber of Commerce in 2017 and Startup Business of the Year in 2018, and obviously more recently Entrepreneur of the Year 2021 at the Scottish Ex-Forces Business Awards. So what's been the main drivers then? Because a lot of people will undertake the MBA and they'll have business, but what kind of drives you to that success, and how has your entrepreneurial skills developed over that time?
So I suppose there was two turning points, and if I go back to the HNC and HND, having left with no qualifications and forced my way into an HNC. At that point, I was an average student, probably below average, and felt I was struggling. But between the two semesters, someone from your college had identified that I think you've got dyslexia. So she took me up to Glasgow to the Dyslexia Institute, and she did the tests, and it turned out that I was really rubbish at short-term memory, at handwriting, at grammar and spelling. All these things were below average. And I went there and I remember saying to her, "Why do you think this?" She says, "Because I'm stupid." And she said, "Don't you ever say you're stupid." It was a very vocal Glaswegian woman, a bit aggressive. "Don't you ever say you're stupid again." And she really shocked me, finger in my face. And I said, "But I am." And she says, "Well, it turns out that your tests mean that you're really rubbish at the things you know you're rubbish at, but you're actually in the half a percentile of the world for these things. So you're rubbish at 95% of things, but you're good at problem solving, creativity, and spatial awareness. So yes, don't say you're stupid, and focus on what you're good at." So she said, "Apply yourself, and it doesn't matter. You're not stupid. These things, the dyslexia part of your brain, massively makes you different and better and gives you an advantage." So when I went in from the HNC, being a nearly failing student, hadn't done any extra studying, but the HND managed to get Student of the Year and the best marks in that course ever for the Hospitality Management HND, not because I was any smarter, because I simply changed my mindset. So really important for me or anybody watching, that if you do believe you're not as smart as everyone else, there will be things in your brain that you're a genius at. You're the top 0.5% in the whole world at. And that lady up at the Dyslexia Institute reprogrammed my brain at a defining point in my life. So up to that point, I didn't believe myself. The first business we had from 2006 to 2016 before Pillow was equivalent to the HNC. I was in business, I was new. But in the second business with Pillow, I thought, well, that's actually my HND. I'll apply myself more, and rather than not applying for awards or not putting the business out there in case people would say it's not good enough. Well, why wouldn't I apply for these things? We've got an amazing team that backs me up. I don't need to be good at everything because the team do all the things well. So it was a bit self-belief when it came to the awards, applying for things and actually 100% believing that you're creating a business that is adding value, that's changing the world, that's helping people, that's saving lives, and is valuable and worthy. So that's why we started applying for things. Some of the things you mentioned happened to have my name on them, but it wasn't. It was a whole team effort. So bringing people in that are better than me at a lot of things, and just having the right team and coaching and mentoring. But certainly the awards and all the things you mentioned, it's definitely a team effort, and that's everybody that does that.
And you mentioned obviously the lecturer at the college had a big influence on you in changing that mindset. Is there other influential people you've met, mentors or people that have kind of helped guide you to kind of improve some of those other aspects of your business and entrepreneurial mindset?
Yeah, one of the things I love Scotland for, and especially the west of Scotland, I think it's unique in the world. And we had a brief chat prior to this. We've been over and studied at Babson, which has been voted the best entrepreneurial college in the world for 23 years now. And those guys over there, having been over to Silicon Valley and visited all these tech companies, and been to other places of the world, Scotland is unique for the startup ecosystem and support structure. So we've had lots of different mentors and lots of different support and accelerator programs. Up to the start of COVID, the Scottish Government had lots of resources to help us. So I do feel privileged that me, more than even my English colleagues or American friends, have had a massive amount of support, mentorship, and people there to ask upon. And I think I can't speak to the East Coast and up in Aberdeen because I'm not, but certainly the people in the West Coast, people like yourself, if they phone you up and ask for help, people are more than happy to help you and give that advice where you need it. So I think we're an amazing part of the world.
That's good to hear. Yeah, definitely. And you did mention it's a team effort, but of course, I know that you were congratulated recently in the Scottish Parliament by your local MSP for the achievement. So what's kind of next for you personally and professionally?
Yeah, so we'd mentioned we're expanding the business. So lockdown, we're in the tourism industry. We rent holiday homes. So at points we were totally locked down with COVID. So in the lead up to that, changed our business model. We're now no longer just a services based company. It's a tech platform that can operate anywhere in the world. So I'm not a tech founder, a chief technical officer in any way, but I found myself being a tech founder. So that means a lot of development from myself and new learnings, and there's so much I don't know, and maybe we've mastered the holiday home business side of things, but now that we're moving into tech, it's like starting again in business. So that new tech platform, some new services in the UK, and going into markets that won't be affected by lockdown. So Florida has traditionally been kept open, so we want to diversify the market in case we go back into lockdown. Who knows what's going to happen? We want multiple income streams. Personally, yeah, it's at that stage of the business where we are bringing on staff. We're going to double in size in the next 4 months. So rather than me, and you mentioned Scott, CEO, just Chief Executive Officer, at the moment, I am the marketing officer, the tech officer, the head person for everyone. It's building out that C-suite team, the chief executive people and the chief marketing, and get people much better suited to running these roles. So taking more of a strategic, visionary role and letting other people do the operations, the sales, the marketing, the technology, the human resource, the finance, that type of thing.
Yeah, no, it sounds really exciting, and I know you've always been really supportive of young entrepreneurs. Is that something you can see developing as well?
Yeah, so as I said, I've had lots of support from lots of accelerator programs. I was brought up in a deprived area of Ayrshire where there was no opportunities, high crime rates, high unemployment, drugs, alcoholism, crime. So I was lucky my decisions got me to where I was versus ones I could have taken. There was heroin, there was crime, I could have been in jail, could have been dead. So anything I feel it's now my duty to give back. We said there's lots of support in Scotland, and I think I've had my fair share and more just by being out there. It's now my duty to give that back. So helping people that are at that level, maybe just need someone to believe in them for the first time, because no one ever believed I would get in the Royal Navy. No one ever believed I'd get qualifications and get a degree. No one ever believed the business was successful apart from me. So if we can help people, and myself and the team and the resources we have here, then more than happy. If the viewers might be aware of the Kickstarter scheme, where the government helped 16 to 24-year-olds get into employment. In the last few years, we had 35 of those all over the UK. So we didn't go for the graduates and the people that were made redundant, that were very qualified. We went for the people that perhaps needed a chance, that just needed someone to believe in them. And many of those 35 are still with us now. But we tried our best in those 6 months to have maximum impact and shape. We don't make decisions that are good at young kids at 16, and we make daft decisions and our head's not at the place it would be 10 years later. So I think having, whether myself and certainly the female members of the team, helping the females, there's challenges young people have that we didn't have around, social media bullying, anxiety, stress, depression. It seems to be more prevalent. So if we can help those people and help them get into business, we do lots of mentoring. We are right next door to Sir Tom Hunter and his accelerator program. So we are always happy to do anything we can to give back to the community and help young entrepreneurs.
That's great to hear, and hopefully that's a cycle that keeps on going, and we see more people like you coming out as well. So thanks for joining us today. I really enjoyed hearing about your background, and good luck with all the expansion and moving into different areas, and I wish you well for the future.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Thank you, Ian.